2020, I was tested in a way I've never been tested before, because when you lose a child,
loved ones of the victims are still struggling to understand how something like this could have happened. They say the couple was married for over 20 years and there was never any signs of domestic abuse. They even told me they didn't know a gun was in the home.
Total surprise.
unexpected, like.
He adored her. Whatever Renee wanted, Chris would give it to her.
Why do you want to kill me? I need help. Those were the last words Teresa Pugh spoke that anyone outside her home would hear. The 911 dispatcher could hear her pleading in the background while her husband of over 20 years calmly told them everything was fine. No emergency. Just a mistake. Here's what makes this different from every other domestic tragedy you've heard. Teresa had been telling us what was happening for months. Not in whispers to friends or coded messages to family. She was broadcasting it to the world on YouTube in vlogs about marriage, faith, and building a life together. We just weren't listening to what she was really saying. On March 22nd, 2025, in a quiet neighborhood in Garner, North Carolina, 2 lives ended while police stood outside for hours, legally unable to enter. But the real tragedy? Everything that was about to happen had been documented, uploaded, and shared with thousands of viewers who thought they were watching a love story. If you believe these stories reveal truths we need to understand about the warning signs we miss, please subscribe to True Crime Unravelled and hit that notification bell. Because sometimes the most important evidence isn't hidden, it's right there on YouTube. Teresa Renee Adams Pugh was 54 years old, a mother of 4, grandmother to 14, the vibrant heart of their family. Her husband Chris was a successful contractor who'd built his business from nothing, teaching construction skills to veterans and people seeking second chances. On social media, they were relationship goals. On YouTube, they were the couple who'd figured it out after 20 years of marriage.
Because he be off in La La Land. Oh my goodness, so bad.
And how do I know I'm off in La La Land? All I got to do is look
at my face.
And she be somewhere face toe up.
Because I be like, yo, I need you to get back, like, come back. We're gonna get flagged for this music, but whatever.
She say come back. And it was like without even saying a word. And she could be way across the room.
Yeah, because by now we know, we know each other actions. He know when I'm my face, bring it back in, bro. So I would take my shades off so he could see me.
Yeah. She giving no secrets, y'all.
And I'd be like,
that's the play.
If you see me do.
In their vlogs, Chris called Teresa his queen, his foundation, his everything. She called him her king, her builder, her rock. But in December 2024, just 3 months before she died, Teresa looked directly into her camera and said something that should have made everyone stop scrolling.
Oh, I got my prescriptions already. And I talk to my doctor about everything, like everything. We talk. He's really, I tell you, my doctor is excellent. So we were talking, and so he asked me how was I doing with, anxiety. He's like, I know you've been going through a lot, and, because Chris, he's also Chris' doctor. So, he know, about a lot of stuff that's been going on. So he was like, how are you doing? He know that I suffer from anxiety and stuff like that. So I was already on, I forgot the name of it. I can't think the name of it right now. But I tell you, I take, medicine for anxiety sometimes, and it gets really, really, lately it's been really bad. I would say for the last probably like 2 to 3 months, because there was other stuff going on, before, well, no, April I was doing good, but I have these battles sometimes, and honestly, I've thought about death, and you know how, like, sometimes you be going through so much that you just ask yourself sometimes, like, would it be better off if I wasn't here? Not that I'm going to do anything to myself. I'm not doing anything to myself, but I think about, just because sometimes I just be under so much pressure, strain, stress, that, sometimes I really think about, just would it be better if I wasn't here, or something like that. And he was like, those are thoughts that you don't want to be having. And so he recommended something else that's gonna because what I'm currently on works for the moment. Like, it works like right now. It'll, you know, help things to calm down and be okay. And then, but he gave me something to try that is over a period of time, that it would help me.
To understand what happened on that Saturday evening in Spring Creek Estates, you first need to understand who Teresa and Chris Pugh appeared to be. Because the image they projected wasn't fake, it was real. It just wasn't complete. Teresa was the kind of grandmother who didn't just show up to school events, she organized them. Her granddaughter Dania would later say, "She just wanted us to be the best we could be." Not in that pushy, demanding way some grandparents have, but with genuine belief that each of those kids had something special inside them. She called herself a fashionista, and if you watched her vlogs, you'd see why. Hair always perfect, makeup flawless even for a casual Tuesday video. She understood that looking good wasn't vanity. It was armor. It was confidence. It was a way of telling the world you had it together, even when you didn't.
It's okay to dress to impress, but the most important thing is that you dress for yourself. Prioritize how you want to look for today, dress it up, feel good, look good, and have a great day.
Christmas at the Pugh house was legendary. We're not talking about a tree and some lights. Teresa transformed their home into something out of a movie, the kind of display that made neighbors slow down when they drove past. Thanksgiving? She hosted everyone. And by everyone, I mean everyone. Family, friends, friends of friends. If you didn't have somewhere to go, you had a place at Teresa's table. Her YouTube channel was supposed to be fun. A place to share makeup tips, talk about marriage, maybe inspire other women navigating life in their 50s. She'd post regularly, chatting with her audience like they were girlfriends sitting in her living room. The comments were always positive. "You look amazing." Relationship goals. "Your energy is contagious." Chris Pugh had his own success story, the kind that should inspire people. CB Pugh Enterprises LLC wasn't just a construction company. It was a mission. The Pugh Builders GC Academy in Raleigh wasn't just teaching people to swing hammers. It was giving second chances to veterans struggling to adjust to civilian life, to people who'd made mistakes and needed a new path. His tagline was building strong, creating with heart. And he meant it. Chris didn't just talk about overcoming challenges, he lived it. He'd speak at events about his own journey, his own struggles, how he'd built his business from nothing into something that could change lives. Together, they'd been married for over 20 years. Not 20 easy years, they'd both acknowledge that in their vlogs. But 20 years of choosing each other, of building something together. They lived in a nice house in a quiet neighborhood where, as one neighbor put it, they kept to themselves but were very friendly and supportive. The kind of neighbors who'd buy lemonade from kids' stands, who'd wave when they saw you, who made you feel like the neighborhood was a little safer, a little friendlier because they were there. Nobody knew they owned a gun. If you go back and watch Teresa's vlogs from 2024, and many people have now, looking for clues, you'll notice something. The upload schedule that had been consistent for months starts to falter. Where there used to be weekly posts, sometimes multiple videos a week, suddenly there are gaps. 2 weeks here, 3 weeks there. When she does post, the energy is different. Oh, she's still putting on her makeup, still smiling, but there's something in her eyes that wasn't there before. The kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. Chris had suffered his second stroke. Let that sink in for a moment. Second stroke, and the man was only 53 years old. After the first one, he'd done what driven, successful people do. He'd pushed through, minimized it, got back to work too soon because there were contracts to fulfill, employees to pay, a business to run. But this second stroke was different. It changed him in ways that were visible even through a screen. Teresa, always honest with her audience, admitted the truth. He's typically a man of many, many, many words. That's how she described the Chris she'd married. The man who could talk to anyone about anything, who'd fill silence with stories and plans and dreams. But after the second stroke, it was challenging for me, she said.
Once I got there, I wish I had taken a bathing suit, but I was too tired of missing that pool yesterday. I did good to even go. Did good to even go. This is all he does is smile now. And used to, why you not saying nothing?
Huh?
Why you not saying anything?
You're soaking it all in.
Soaking it all. What you soaking in, honey?
The rays.
The rays. Oh yeah, it is hot. It's hot out here today.
Yeah.
It is very hot today. It looks cloudy. If it's storm today, it's gonna be a hell of a storm as hot as it is out here now. It is 90. Well, it's saying 91 now. It's supposed to be in the 90s today though. It's humid outside. It's got that North Carolina heat, honey. Well, that's for sure. How you feeling these days, honey?
Yeah, I'm feeling nice. Feeling nice. Slowly getting it back together.
You slowly getting it back together.
Yeah.
It's been a little process this time, huh?
Yeah. I just said, decided I wasn't gonna rush the process this time.
That's good. That's good, because last time he hopped back out. He came out the hospital the day he was out tomorrow. He checked himself out and hit the road. Didn't even stop. But I think you paid for it in the long run, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Just like, or you just realized that you didn't give yourself time to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, these bodies ain't young as they used to be. Can't bounce back as quick, so we definitely have to listen to our bodies and, you know, ease your way back into the routine. I tell you what has been different,
What's that?
having you home every day for like a month. It gives us a sneak into his retirement, what it's gonna be like. Oh, we've been chilling though. We allow each other space, right?
Right.
So, you know, we be in our own little world. We come together, you know, we eat, we communicate, have our little moment together, then we back off in our own little world. And I mean, I don't know, I think that's healthy. I think we've always kind of done that though, so it's kind of healthy. I think it's just been a little different for me, not having you as active and boisterous and stuff like that. That's been challenging for me. You know, just you're not talking like now. He's a man of few words, and usually he's a man of many, many, many words.
Yeah. It's taking time.
But she's seeing a doctor about it. The same doctor Chris sees, she mentions. A doctor who knows about a lot of stuff that's been going on. What stuff? What was going on that required medical intervention for both of them? Financial pressure from the business? Health fears after Chris's strokes? The weight of maintaining a perfect image while everything was falling apart behind closed doors? We'll never know because 3 months later, they were both gone. March 22nd, 2025 started like any other Saturday in Spring Creek Estates. Kids playing in yards, people washing cars, the normal rhythm of suburban life. The Pugh's house on Cheney Drive looked exactly like it always did, well-maintained, welcoming, giving no hint of what was happening inside. At approximately 6:45 p.m., someone inside the Pugh residence dialed 911. The call connected, but whoever made it didn't speak. They just hung up. Following protocol, the dispatcher called back. This time, Christopher Pugh answered. His voice was calm, controlled. No, he hadn't called 911. Must have been a mistake. Everything was fine. But everything wasn't fine because in the background, the dispatcher could hear Teresa. She wasn't calm. She wasn't controlled. She was pleading. Why do you want to kill me? I need help. Let's stop here for a moment because this is crucial. The dispatcher heard a woman begging for her life. They heard her asking why someone wanted to kill her. They heard her explicitly stating she needed help. This wasn't ambiguous. This wasn't a maybe situation. This was a woman in mortal danger. Deputies were immediately dispatched to Cheney Drive. They arrived to a house that looked normal from the outside, but as they approached, they heard gunshots from inside. Multiple shots. The kind of sound that changes a welfare check into a crime scene. But here's where the system failed Teresa one final time. Under North Carolina law, even with gunshots, even with a woman's pleas for help on a 911 recording, police couldn't just break down the door. They needed a search warrant. The law that's supposed to protect citizens from unreasonable search and seizure became a barrier between Teresa and any chance of survival. A barricaded standoff began. Police surrounded the house. Neighbors were evacuated with warnings.
Neighbors who didn't want to be identified say during the standoff, officers were asking residents to either evacuate or not come home.
I pulled up my Ring doorbell and an officer was approaching, just telling me, please do not come home. He wouldn't tell me what was going on, but just said, just don't come home and I will let you know when it is safe to come home.
The quiet suburban street became a crime scene filled with flashing lights, yellow tape, and the terrible waiting that comes when everyone knows how story will end but protocol must be followed anyway. For over 4 hours, police waited outside while judges were contacted, paperwork was prepared, and legal requirements were met. Just before 11 p.m., over 4 hours after Teresa's voice was heard begging for help, authorities finally entered the home. They found what everyone had feared but hoped against, both Christopher and Teresa Pugh deceased from gunshot wounds. The official determination would be murder-suicide. Chris had shot Teresa, then turned the gun on himself. There was no note, no explanation, no final message to their 4 children or 14 grandchildren. No answers for a family that would later say they never saw this coming.
Loved ones of the victims are still struggling to understand how something like this could have happened. They say the couple was married for over 20 years and there was never any signs of domestic abuse. They even told me they didn't know a gun was in the home.
Total surprise.
Unexpected, like.
He adored her. Whatever Renee wanted, Chris would give it to her.
In the days that followed, as news spread through Garner and beyond, everyone who knew the Pughs had the same reaction: disbelief. This wasn't a couple people worried about. This wasn't a marriage everyone knew was troubled. Dania, Teresa's granddaughter, spoke for the entire family when she said,
"You would never, like my papa he never yelled at us or like there's no way you would suspect it. Like, he never yelled at us, whooped us, none of that.
He wasn't violent at all.
You can't even say you seen him mad because I could count on my hand how many times
Like
I
they
mad
didn't
one
fuss
hand.
in front of us. Like
the family held on to that disbelief like a life raft in an ocean of grief. If there were no signs, then there was nothing they could have done. If it was truly unexpected, then they couldn't blame themselves for not intervening. But then people started going back through Teresa's YouTube channel. They found that December video about depression and dark thoughts. They found the references to Chris's silence after his stroke. They found the jokes that weren't really jokes about how hard it was to build a man. They found what investigators would call a complete mystery, but what mental health professionals might recognize as a familiar pattern: the slow dissolution of a relationship under the pressure of health crises, financial stress, and the exhausting performance of perfection. Chris's second stroke had changed more than his ability to communicate. Strokes can affect personality, impulse control, emotional regulation. The man who'd built a business on giving second chances, who dedicated himself to helping veterans and others struggling to adjust, may have been struggling with changes in his own brain that made him someone Teresa didn't recognize. And Teresa, trying to hold everything together, had admitted to her doctor that she was having thoughts of not wanting to exist. But she was careful to say she wouldn't act on them. Because that's what you say when you need help but don't want to be hospitalized. That's what you say when you're drowning but don't want to admit you can't swim anymore. The YouTube channel sits frozen now, a digital memorial to a woman who shared so much of her life with strangers on the internet. The last video was posted weeks before she died. In that house on Cheney Drive, behind doors that police couldn't legally break down for 4 hours, 2 people who'd spent 20 years building a life together destroyed it all in a matter of minutes. There's something particularly cruel about Teresa's final moments. She made it to the phone. She managed to call 911. Help was literally on the way. But the same man who'd promised to love and protect her for better or worse had decided that worse meant nobody would survive. When Teresa asked, "Why do you want to kill me?" she wasn't just asking Chris. She was asking the universe how 20 years of marriage and a lifetime of building something together could end with her begging for her life in her own home. The truth is, we'll never really know what happened in the mind of Christopher Pugh. We'll never know if it was the strokes that changed his brain chemistry, the pressure of maintaining a business while his health declined, or something deeper and darker that had always been there, hidden beneath the successful contractor persona. What we do know is that Teresa saw it coming. Maybe not the specifics, maybe not the exact moment, but she knew something was wrong. She told her doctor. She told YouTube. She told anyone who was really listening that she was struggling, that Chris had changed, that she was having thoughts of not wanting to exist. She kept performing the role of the happy wife in a successful marriage because that's what she'd always done. That's what was expected. And maybe that's the real tragedy here. Not just that Teresa died, but that she spent her final months hiding her pain behind a camera-ready smile, turning her struggles into content, performing happiness for an audience that might have helped if they'd known how much she was really suffering. Every 3 days in America, a woman is killed by an intimate partner. Every 3 days, a family is left asking why they didn't see the signs. Every 3 days, we collectively promise to do better, to watch closer, to intervene sooner. And then 3 days later, it happens again. Teresa Pugh told us she was struggling. She uploaded it to YouTube. She shared it with thousands of strangers. But we watched it like entertainment instead of evidence. We hit like on her makeup tutorials and missed the pain in her eyes. We commented relationship goals on videos where she was literally describing how exhausting it was to manage her husband's moods. So, here's my question for you. How many cries for help are hiding in plain sight on your social media feed right now? How many people are performing happiness while contemplating ending it all? How many Teresa Pughs are out there telling us exactly what's wrong while we scroll past to the next video? Share your thoughts in the comments. But more importantly, check on someone today. Not a text asking you good, but a real check-in. A phone call. A visit. A moment of genuine connection that might make the difference between someone suffering in silence and someone getting help. If you believe these stories need to be told, not for entertainment but for education, subscribe to True Crime Unravelled and hit that notification bell. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at True Crime Unravelled TV. Because every story we tell is a lesson we need to learn, and every lesson we learn might save a life. Teresa Pugh deserved more than becoming a true crime story. She deserved help when she asked for it. She deserved support when she was struggling. She deserved to see her grandchildren grow up. She deserved to find joy again after the darkness passed. Instead, she became another statistic, another cautionary tale, another woman whose death might have been prevented if we'd just been paying attention to what she was actually saying instead of what we wanted to see. Don't let her story be forgotten. And don't let it be repeated.